Warning, the following video discusses mature topics. Viewer discretion is advised. Zenon Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Zom 100. And yes, I know that it's been a while since I've actually been making any Showed Some Loves or anything like that, or any videos that are actually putting a little bit of effort into. Just know that I am working on some stuff behind the scenes, and we will be getting some more stuff before too long. But for now, let's get back into the Showed Some Loves with Zom 100. And hopefully, from what I've talked about this series before, it's very clear, hopefully it's clear to you all that this series is not for children, and probably should not be read by even teenagers, just to be put bluntly. It may be T plus, according to Viz's signature, but at the same time, just be aware, this is a mature series. And that's why I put the disclaimer at the beginning of the video, because, yeah. But let's actually talk about Zom 100. Now, Zom 100 is near and dear to my heart, primarily because of the fact that it discusses a lot of things that are not great, but tries to make the best of it. The point of this entire series is that no matter what you're going through, you should try your hardest to make the most out of your life. No matter what experiences or what situation you're in, try your best and make the most of your life, because who knows, it may end the very next day. And that is what Zom 100 is all about. Akira Tendo, who is the main character, is a young man who works in a abusive workplace and is just completely abused, as are all of his fellow co-workers, and it's not a good situation. That is what his life is before the zombie apocalypse. The girl that he's in love with is sleeping with their boss, because that's the only way that she can see how to survive. And he is forced to, well, just grin and bear it, and just live with the life that he's living, and unfortunately suffer, because the zombie apocalypse ends up being better than his actual life. Let me make that clear again. He considered himself to be a zombie before the zombie apocalypse. All he did was just waddle through life, just going with the flow, doing his duties for his really crappy job. And I mean, that job is crappy. Seriously. It's bad, to say the least. So, understand that this is bad. And I want it to be clear, especially to anyone who is actually living a similar life to what he is living, do not let that be your life. Because you do not want to be in the position where an actual zombie apocalypse is better than what you are dealing with in your actual life. Don't let that happen, no matter how bad it is. Sometimes you just need to get away from whatever the bad situation is. And workplace abuse should not be tolerated. Period. That is the most important thing that Zom 100 goes over. And if you are actually living that life where you are actually experiencing workplace abuse, please get help and get out of that job. And yeah, I'm specifically saying this to a lot of people because I know that, while it may not be as bad as what happens in Zom 100, it can be very bad. And sometimes it's a lot more subtle than you think. And they make a point to actually make this clear that, well, yeah, sometimes you don't realize what situation you're in. And I want to read like a little excerpt from this. Um, let's see if I can find it. I guess I can't find it. But the point is that, oh wait, actually, I think I might have. Yes. Burnout and bullying by their higher-ups robs workers of the will to quit these awful companies. They even driven employees to suicide. This happens a lot in Japan, and it happens pretty much everywhere. Don't let that happen to you. And that is the important thing that Psalm 100 gets across. Don't let that come to pass. But another thing that this series does really well is that sometimes you do need to live life with a balance. There are some characters that show up later in the series that have also created a bucket list of the dead. And basically what they want to do is destroy everything. Yes, you should live your life to the fullest, but you shouldn't live a life that will harm others. That is the point of what these characters live for. And while Akira is, of course, the main protagonist, he's not the only one. He has 3 amazing friends that choose to stand by him in this crazy new world. His best friend that he tries really hard to find. And, yeah. He is, needless to say, an amazing character. And he's going to be a comedian. I'm not going to go into too many details because I love the character. But then we also have, another protagonist who is the young lady who is next to Akira on the motorbike on the main cover. She is a young lady who is basically has been constantly told all of her life that she needs to be the best there is and work hard, be the because she was wealthy, she needs to live up to the name that she has, and it's just like, what the frell? But the point that they're trying to get across is that you shouldn't let people control your life, no matter who it is. And nothing exemplifies this more than when they meet the 4th member of their group, who is just a straight up weeb. I do have to say I love her character, but she is a young German woman who is just a straight up weeb and just loves everything Japan. And she is living her life. She was living her life before the zombie apocalypse, and when she realized that the zombie apocalypse was happening, she chose to continue to live her life, to not be ashamed of who she was, and just be happy. And honestly, I love everything about these 4 characters, because each one of them has their own struggles and their own ways that they need to develop. And while to me, it feels pretty obvious that at some point in the future, the 2 girls and the 2 guys are going to pair up with, obviously, one guy's with a girl and each of the guys is going to be with one of the girls. So yeah, just that kind of feels like that's the direction that they're going, especially considering the fact that Akira loves kind of has a pretty big bonehead crush on her. I'm forgetting what her name is right now, but has a pretty big crush on her. And while the other 2 don't seem to be that romantic at this point, it's definitely a possibility down the line. And I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what they're going to do as they continue this series. Maybe they'll even figure out a way to end the zombie apocalypse. Who knows? But I, for one, am really excited to see exactly how they develop the story moving forward. And I don't know who needs to read this series, but I do believe that there are many who should. And if you are one of those people, please do read this series. Please don't read it in front of your boss. Or pretty much anywhere close to work. This video might, if I'm gonna make this very clear to anyone who watched this video, don't talk about this series around, especially children, because it's not for children, and it is not safe for work. but it is definitely a series that should be discussed in a serious way, because everything that happens in the series does happen in the real world, just obviously not the zombie apocalypse, but everything else does. And we need to understand that and work together to help each other get past that and move on to a better existence. Who knows what the future will hold, but I for one am really excited to see what Zom 100 has in store for us. Let's see how this bucket list of the dead continues. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, leave your thoughts and theories down in the comments below, and of course, if you do have a theory, make sure to say theory review somewhere in your comments so we can talk about it in a future video. And of course, if you do want to support the channel even more, then definitely head down to the description below and check out all of our links down there, including our social medias, our other channels, and ways you can support us financially, including the merch store, the book, and of course, our Patreon, which a big thank you to anyone who is currently a Patreon. I haven't checked in a while, but if you are still there, thank you so much for sticking through with all of this. But anyways, guys, I've been Electric Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!
Joseph from the hip, if it was Korakian fighting, as fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening when they thought with expert timing. Thank you!